Was he briefed by the FBI on what the options were independently of you?
No, he was not.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hughes, the gentleman from New Jersey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, let me thank you, Mr. Chairman, for convening this very timely hearing, and welcome, General. Let me just say that, like my colleague from New York, I think most of us are very happy that you are the Attorney General of the United States. You take the kind of compassion and toughness and savvy and experience to that office that we need, and you're like a breath of fresh air, and we wish you well. We're happy the President supported you wholeheartedly when you offered to resign. I'm concerned about a couple areas. My colleague Henry Hyde has already touched on one area. Since Talladega, some 18 months or so ago, we realized that we have one hostage rescue team, and fatigue should never be a factor in our decision-making. And I hope that we'll look at what we need to do to provide the resources so that we don't have that as a factor in our decision as to when to move in a law enforcement operation. Let me focus instead more directly on who we consulted. I understand you've indicated that the FBI will testify as to who they consulted by way of behavioral experts. You testified that you did talk to Dr. Harry Salem relative to tear gas and his expertise. Did you ever talk to any of the folks from the American Family Association that has developed quite a bit of experts, or the Cult Awareness Network possibly during this time?
I personally did not, sir.
Do you know whether the FBI did?
I have not heard of that, of the American Family Association, but I'm not sure that that's...
Family Foundation.
I think the American Family Association and the American Family Foundation are separate.
They are, and the foundation is what I'm referring to.
And I have not talked to them.
Well, the American Family Foundation has developed a great deal of expertise, as you may know. Are you familiar with the article that appeared recently, in fact, April 20th, on how many Jonestowns will it take?
I have a copy of that article. I'm trying to collect as much information as I can to pass on both to the investigators from within the department and independent investigators, so that we make sure that anything such as this is fully considered in trying to develop guidelines, processes, and policies for addressing these issues in the future, and also, as Congressman Edwards points out, for addressing non-cult situations that might develop in the same fashion.
See, one of my main concerns, and I've corresponded, as you know, with your department before you became Attorney General, over the lack of information, strategic information in particular, about cults around the country. We don't even know how many we have. And while the CIA apparently many years ago did some in-depth studies on mind control, we've done very little apparently. And I realize there are some very serious First Amendment questions involved, but it seems to me that we cannot deal with situations like this without a lot more information. One of the constructive suggestions I've received from those that are working with the Cult Awareness Network, and I've been in touch with them for a number of months, is that we don't know how to deal with people like David Koresh or Vernon Howes in these types of situations, because it's not like the usual hostage situation. And I would hope that we try to develop that kind of expertise in the future. And I'm not faulting, basically any agency, because I understand, the difficulties that we have to be careful about with regard to freedom of religion in particular.
As you know, Congressman, we met, and I am following up on some of your suggestions and doing everything I can to make sure that we determine all available experts that can advise us in terms of how we address these problems in the future. What do we do now to address the cults that exist? What action should be taken, if any? We want to do a very careful review.
See, I don't